Hi everyone, it's Brittany here, and I have a couple cards I want to share with you guys, and then a technique I want to share as well. So for this first card here, I used the Avery Elle Cake and Candle stamp set. So I just took a circle punch and cut it out of my card base, and then I put my piece of paper up here on top just temporarily to see where I wanted to punch the hole. And so I did that, and then I had ordered recently, you guys can see it there, it was called Embossable Window Plastic by Judykins. And sorry, I tore off the packaging. But it comes in this huge package. I don't even remember how many is in here, but there's quite a few. And then you get these sheets, and they're about 4 by 6 of the plastic. So I just cut it down and sandwiched it in between the two. And I think it's super fun to play with it. And then I stamped the stars just in a couple coordinating colors. And it was just kind of a fun card, you know, with just a little bit more interest. And then for this next one here, I used the Avery Elle Simply Said Hello. And I used the stamp and the die. So for the stamp set, I did just a quick note, and I cut the hello with the die. And then for the to say, I just used the Studio G alphas and put those on there. And then I just cut this out because it looked like notebook paper. And then I just did my notebook edge punch up here. And I think, yeah, it's blank. So there's that one. Excuse me, you guys. I'm still trying to get over this cough. Okay, and then for my technique, I wanted to show you guys, I've been looking for a feather stamp set. And I found this one from Mama Elephant, and it's called Mama Elephant Fair Feathers. And it's cute. It's not as detailed as I would like. So I'm going to show you what I did to make it kind of more to my liking. So here's what it does stamped out, just plain. As you can see, it's a pretty solid stamp. And then with some of my techniques, you can get a little bit more detail, so it looks more feathered. Here's another more solid one. So I just thought I would show you guys how I did that. I love this one because it looks like you can really see the individual pieces. So for the first one, I'm just going to use the solid feather stamp here. And this would really work with any stamps. It's just for the feather, and particularly I wanted, you know, something to look more like that. So what I'm going to do is I just mounted this on my block. And then I'm going to take some distress markers. And I'll show you guys how to do it if you don't have distress markers. I'm using Vintage Photo and Gathered Twigs. So I'm just going to go on the inside. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. So I'm just kind of fanning out from that center line. And I'm not being too precise because when we come in with our other color, we're going to kind of cover that anyways a little bit. And then I'm just going to color the stem. And keep just going here. And where you're kind of getting these lines from the marker is going to help get this look. And then for the second color, I'm just coming inwards from the outside. Just because I don't want to cover all of that first color. I just want to bring it in on the tips a little bit. So now that we did that, you can give it a little spray if you wanted. I'm just going to blow on it a little bit. And then you want to make sure you push good because you don't want to get a whole lot of bubbles in there. So then after that, you get something that looks like that. And I'm really happy with those results. I really like the way that looks. Before I do the next one, I'll show you guys just plainly stamping it out. So we'll do Capo Joe. And this is just going to be a solid image. So you can see the difference between the two. And while this one's perfect, I really like kind of the imperfections of the other one. So there's one way to do it. Now, another way is I just take it, whatever color you want to use, and I'm using this because it's pretty dark. And then I'm just going to take my baby wipe, and I kind of scrunch it up so it's just not even. And then I'm just going to kind of pull from the center out. Just, again, to create some of those lines. So just pull out, just kind of following the shape of the feathers. And even when you hold that up, you can see those lines that you're going to get.
Mommy, I got two balls.
So there's that one. And while it's not the same, you get a totally different look. And I love it. I love playing with this. And then I was just thinking, actually, as I was sitting here, if we did a paintbrush. So we're going to try this as well. So I'm just going to ink it up again with my Cup o' Joe. And then I'm just going to take a normal paintbrush. This is from Claudine Helmuth. Hopefully you can see that. Studio. And it's a 1/2 inch. And now I'm just going to do the same thing I did with the wipe. Only you probably have a little bit more control using the paintbrush. And I'm just going to wipe it off so that I'm not transferring that ink over to the other side. Okay, so now we'll stamp that and see how that looks. So, yet again, another different look. It's kind of cool. It's not as... I like more of the lines in there. But it's still neat looking. Hopefully you guys can see all that really well. And another thing that I had played with was actually double stamping. So I had taken my wet cement. And this one I didn't like as well, but I will show you guys. I'm just taking my wet cement because it's a fairly dark color, but not so dark. And then just stamp that. So we got a nice solid image. And then taking the Cup o' Joe, because it's a tone, it's a shade darker. And then doing the same idea of just wiping some of this away. And I'm going to try and get a little bit more of it this time, just because we already have that base color down. And then line it up as good as you can. And there's another totally different look. So I just thought I was playing with those, and I thought I would share with you guys. And hopefully this helps you guys too. It's like getting a different stamp every time, and I love that. Because there's not a whole lot of... you get the outline and you get the solid. So, yeah. But thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully this helps you guys transform your stamps as well. And I hope you guys have a great day.